Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a good day so far. I've been doing homework emails for about an hour now, or a little bit over an hour, so I wanted to take, again, some of those notes from several of my lessons and hopefully share some of that information with you. I'm definitely probably going to be drinking some of my coffee. I need it this early in the morning, especially when I get started this early, so might have to have a coffee break. So puppy aggression. I'm having a lot of people contact me because they think that they, bought Cujo instead of the cute little puppy, from the breeder, or that they adopted from the shelter, or whatever it is. And the honest truth, guys, is that puppies can be terrible. Okay, they poop and pee all the time. They speak a different language. They've got 42 little piranha teeth that want to sink into your feet and your pajamas when you're walking across the house, and your older dog, and all of that stuff. So it can be just terrible, and you think, like, what have I done, right? But here's the thing. The way that puppies play is through ritualized aggression. Okay, so I call it martial arts for dogs. Okay, you're practicing your killing skills. How I'm going to take you down. I'm going to take you by the back leg, and I'm going to chew in your throat while you're down. I'm going to growl at you and do all these things, okay? But it's all in good fun. Now, there's obviously a difference, and you have to, there is a fine line with all of that. But anyway, that's how they start to play. And until they have that feedback from people that you don't play with people like you play with a dog, it can be quite a scary thing. Especially if you haven't had a puppy in a while. We get that good memory amnesia sometimes. If our favorite dog has recently passed, we're like, oh, they were just the best dog, right? And they are, but we forget all those puppy stages that we went through and their temper tantrums. They probably had them too. So one thing I want to tell you about their razor sharp teeth, that's no mistake from an evolutionary standpoint. They are supposed to have these little sharp piranha teeth at first because they're learning bite inhibition from their litter mates, from their mom. And by having those razor sharp piranha teeth when they're really little, they don't have to apply as much pressure to their brother or sister to staple their ears shut. So when they get their much larger and thankfully more rounded adult teeth, they have to actually apply a pretty decent amount of pressure to do harm. But that's all thanks to these sharp little piranha teeth that they have. Okay, teaching them that they only have to bite a little bit to cause a lot of pain. Okay, so anyway, those are good. I know that they are terrible for us, but they're actually serving a purpose. So anyway, again, knowing that puppies think that they're playing by doing their little puppy martial arts, when they wake up from a nap, or if they just get bored and then they see you, they're going to think about playing with you. So they're probably going to bounce around and go, ooh, whatever, and then lunge out at you and your feet and your ankles and everything else, whatever they can make contact with. But do you remember me saying that it's ritualized? So the things that keep it ritualized, where it's not just full-on aggressive displays, are things like play bows or turning your body slightly sideways before you go in for the attack or the pounce. Okay, so do you remember that play bow that they did when they woke up from the nap and they saw you and you just looked like a sitting duck, and they play bowed you before they lunged and started barking at you? Right. Okay, that's going to give us some context on the fact that, okay, at least he's playing, but he just doesn't know how to behave appropriately with a person. So it's still a problem. We need to give him some feedback, but the intention is different from a dog who just wakes up and there you are, and I'm cranky, and I just lunge out. There's no ritualized behavior that shows me that this is play before I pounce. Okay, so that's important. All right, let me check my notes here. All right, noticing the escalation. Okay, that's really important. It's just like with kids. You start to see them get cranky, or they've played a little bit too hard and they need a nap. Okay, you need to start learning how to notice those things in your puppy, and you need to act appropriately. So before they get to the point where they're just completely losing their little puppy minds, are they too tired? Do they need a nap? Do they need to go in their crate and settle? Okay, do they need some mental enrichment? Are they just bored out of their minds? They're not really tired, they're just bored to death. Okay, we'll give them something to do. Maybe backyard playtime, maybe a play date in the backyard, just something to enrich their minds and, get them a little bit tired if they just have a lot of leftover energy and they don't know what to do with it. But you need to learn that with your dog. Okay, what works for somebody else, or if somebody says, well, when my dog does that, this is what I do. it's not necessarily that that's bad advice, but you just have to tailor it to your dog, just like you would with a child. Okay, so anyway, Kongs, that's another thing. If you just notice that they need to settle down because you start to see them getting wound up, okay, having those pre-stuffed frozen Kongs, like I've showed you in another video, and that's probably on the video list on the Facebook page, but pre-stuffed frozen Kongs, if I see a puppy starting to get wound up, I'm going to try to redirect that into something more positive and, you know, helpful for the whole situation, instead of just putting them in their crate. Like, putting them in their crate, that's helpful sometimes, and they really do need a nap, but if I can actually start shaping the behavior I want without having to necessarily put you in a crate, that's what I'm going to do. But again, if they're really tired, like, you need to put them down for a nap. Like, imagine a toddler without enough sleep. Okay? And by the way, puppies need about 16 hours of sleep a day. Okay, and everybody that I've said that to so far, except one, wasn't doing that, you know, because a lot of us are home right now, and so your puppy's able to be out and about with you, but they're doing way too much. They're not sleeping enough, and they're going to be crazy. So these piranha teeth, matched with the fact that they have like zero impulse control at this age, matched with not enough sleep, it's just a recipe for disaster, and for you to think that you bought a Tasmanian devil instead of a sweet little puppy. Okay, so make sure they're getting enough sleep. All right. The witching hour. Now this, I call it the witching hour because usually they're just crazy, okay? And little kids do this too. So remember, if your puppy's day starts really early at like 6:30 in the morning or something like that, their witching hour might happen at like 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. Okay, but for me, I try my hardest not to wake up before 8 o'clock because Monday through Friday, when I wake up, it's work until I come at home at night, and then I pass out. Okay, like last night, I got home at 9 o'clock, and I hadn't eaten anything except breakfast, and then I ate some dinner, and then I passed out, and now I'm awake. I'm already working again. So anyway, I try my best to not wake up before 8 o'clock. So all of my dogs, they usually go to bed around 10:30, 11-ish, but when they were a puppy, I made sure that all of their needs were met by 8 to 8:30, and then you're going in your crate. Okay, if I had a little kid, I'm not negotiating when you go to sleep. You know, not because I'm trying to be the military around here, but because I know it's not good for you. You need to go to sleep. Like, you need a lot of it, or you're going to be crazy, and then everything's going to go, you know, south. So anyway, puppies don't need to be staying up with you until, you know, you get done with your late night show at 11 o'clock. It doesn't need to be a thing, especially if their day starts really early. So what I suggest is that before the witching hour starts, put them in their crate. Make sure all their needs are met. Mental enrichment, physical exercise, training, snuggle time, all of that stuff has been met. And then you're going in your crate because it's bedtime. Now, what I do with my puppies, or when I'm raising puppies for people, or when I was raising my two newest dogs, you're going to bed at 8 to 8:30, and then when I go to sleep, or right before I go to sleep, I'm going to take you out to potty, and then you're going straight back in your crate. So I'm not expecting the dog to, or the puppy to be able to hold it from 8:30 at night until 8 in the morning. I'm not doing that. But you are going to bed, because rehearsing a problem behavior and then trying to get the dog to not get the zoomies, and, you know, they're just latching on to every pillow they can see and your leg, and then jumping off the couch and just being a nut. You can't let them rehearse that and then also expect them to learn how to be calm. Like, this is one of those things that can go away with age usually. Okay, but you still don't need to let them rehearse that. So before the witching hour starts, so that we prevent the rehearsal of all that craziness during the witching hour, put them away, put them to bed. Okay, and if you haven't been doing that, you're probably going to get fussed at. They're probably going to start screaming or crying or whatever, but we need to undo all of that. Okay, when they're a little bit older, then they can start staying out with you. It's just like, you know, when you're a teenager, you don't have to go to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock because you're not in elementary school anymore. You're not 5. Okay, like you can take a little bit less sleep, but not be a nut the next day. Okay, but either way, your puppy doesn't need to be negotiating their bedtime when all of their needs are met for the day, and before the witching hour starts, put them in the bed. Okay, so I hope I've answered some questions that you might have about puppies and their craziness. Okay, but if you have specific questions, let me know, because I want to answer them, you know, because I can't see everybody one-on-one, and I want to get this information out there. I am going to be making another video on puppies playing with older dogs, because I know that's a huge problem for most people, because, you know, their older dog is sweet and they don't really want to correct the puppy, and we're just sitting back like, he's going to get him this time. Okay, because you know the puppy needs to learn not to do that. Okay, but you don't want to do it. You want your older dog to do it, who didn't sign up for puppy duty. Okay, they're in retirement. They didn't sign up for this. Okay, so I want to show you or teach you what to do if you have a puppy with piranha teeth and an older dog who is more passive and they're not really as firm as they might need to be. And that might be true for you too. You might not be as firm as you need to be, so don't blame your dog. Okay, but anyway, this book that I posted about the other day, if you don't have that already and you have 2 dogs that are playing, or you let your dog play with other dogs, or if you just want to understand what your dog is trying to do with you, you know, because that's the only way they know how to be, is be a dog, you know, so you need to understand how they communicate. This is a really good book. I don't like reading books that feel like I'm not talking to somebody. I don't like reading manuals. Okay, so if you're like that, this is a good book. If you want a more manual type thing, let me know. I can hook you up with some books. Okay, I love to read. But anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. If you have a puppy, don't give up. Okay, they're probably just crazy, but we'll work through it. Okay, have a good day, guys. Bye.